Hello and welcome into Simply Revised. My name is Steve.
And I'm Brenda.
And as always, it is great to have you with us, and we are so thankful that you're part of our podcast community.
We're taking a little break from our series Unshakable Love that we've been on this month in February, and because we have a special guest with us today. Our daughter and son-in-law, this is John, our son-in-law, are visiting us this week from Mississippi, and we are so happy that they're here. We had been planning on having John on the podcast anyway. We just thought we would have to do it remotely, and when he found out that they were going to be able to come this week, we thought, hey, I know what we can do while you're here. So we decided to go ahead and podcast with him today. So we are taking a break from our Unshakable Love series. This episode will be a little bit different. And we just wanted to give a little warning because we are going to be speaking about John's work in hospice care. So if you have younger viewers or if that's not a topic that is good for you to listen to right now, then this is your chance to bow out of this episode. And we hope you'll come back and join us next week when we pick back up with Unshakable Love. We just wanted to let you know that. Yeah.
So as Brenda mentioned, John and our daughter Courtney are visiting with us this week, and we are happy to have them. We got a little bit of a false start on the lawn care yesterday. It was a beautiful day outside, so I jumped out and got a few yards done, but as you can see, if you're watching on video, the background today, it is gray and rainy, so that's kind of stopped the lawn care for a minute, stopped the yard maintenance, and so we thought today would be a good day to just get this recorded and get it all recorded and edited for everybody. We'll probably have this out next week as we record. But it's been good to have these guys here. And I think John was telling us this is the first time on their drive down that they have actually had good weather for the drive down.
Yeah, it usually is raining for some reason. They can pick the dates.
So John, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself and kind of your background and where you guys go to church currently right now and what all you're doing.
Yes. Well, my name is John Carroll. I married in. I married their eldest daughter, Courtney. We've been married for, I suppose, coming on 4 years.
Yep. Pretty close.
Come July. So we've been very happy and I love her very dearly. We're living up there in North Mississippi. We go to church at Foot Street Church of Christ in Corinth, Mississippi. And we've had a wonderful church home and church family there since we've moved down to there. Just enjoyed the atmosphere. The elders have been so kind and wonderful to us, and it's wonderful to be planted in a church that is geared towards helping you and everyone around you grow. It's good. It's been a wonderful experience being down there.
We actually visited with Courtney. You were at work that day when we were visiting in Mississippi, and the girls and I went to church with Courtney at Foot Street. And when service was over, I told her, I like this one. Y'all should go here. I liked it the minute I went. Very good church.
It is. And they actually have, I can't think of the podcast name right now, but your minister has a podcast, and I'll have to look that up and put it in the show notes. You want to make a mark of that,
sure.
Yeah, they have a podcast as well. And you went to school at Freed-Hardeman?
I did. I went to nursing school at Freed-Hardeman. I'd gotten a lot of my prerequisites done at junior college, and I was able to go to nursing school at Freed-Hardeman, and it was a great experience. It prepared me for what I'm doing today, and yes, it was wonderful. A lot of hard work, but I'm here where I am today, so that's
right.
That's what
and
matters.
after you graduated, what did you do after that?
I did. So I graduated Freed-Hardeman, and the awkward question came up, as it does for many, I suppose, senior students in college. It's like, okay, well, where are you going to get a job?
Right.
And I had a relationship with several hospitals in the area from my experience at Freed-Hardeman. So Corinth seemed like a good place to go, and that's where we went. We just moved an hour down the road to Corinth, and it's been a great opportunity for us to set up a little bit on our own to get out there and become a real. Courtney and I become a real family unit.
Right.
Yeah, that's very cool. You know, we've talked a lot on our podcast about the big switch of jobs that we made last year in 2024. Steve had been at his same place of business for nearly 24 years. And then we started our own business last year, and we had a big decision to make right at the beginning of the summer last year. You know, did he want to pursue a career that would mean money, but also mean that he was gone from home a lot, like like we were used to him being gone from home, or did we want to do something that would allow him to be home more and allow him to continue preaching? Because our fear was getting a new job at a new company at this point in his career meant he would be living at work, and that preaching would no longer be able to happen, and ministry. And so we made
preaching and Simply Revised a big part of our lives have been Simply Revised for a long time.
Right, all of that ministry would probably be by the wayside, and so we made the a little bit scary decision,
very scary decision,
to start our own business. And you know, we've been thinking about, is it Merle Haggard, If We Make It Through December, that song? We've had that one running in our heads all winter.
Yes.
You know, we made it through December. You know, we're limping along and we're so happy that it's almost mowing season. Woo-wee, man, that was
Christian podcast quoting Merle Haggard.
Well, that's what's been running through my head, I'll tell you, plus a lot of prayer. But anyway, we did make the decision to do something that meant a little more time at home, and a lot more time at home, and just family and ministry being put first instead of, making money.
It's been a big adjustment for us, but we've enjoyed it. It's difficult for me because I'm used to working all the time, and slowing down a little bit and not getting up at 6 and running out the door it's different schedule for sure.
Yeah, you're having to learn about the seasons.
Yeah,
and doing things differently.
Kind of learning to live with the seasons, and I'm enjoying that. But so
we were thinking about, I know we've talked about that on our podcast a lot, about that big switch and all the change that we did. And John, when you first started nursing, you were on night shift.
Yes, I was medical surgical telemetry night shift. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that is pretty a common tale for new nursing hires, is that you get the night shift. Is that true?
It certainly is. And a lot of times you can maneuver out of that after a little experience, if you can get there. But no, I think I had hit about two years where I've been on the night shift, and that is a particularly exhausting experience.
And I know that some people prefer it.
Sure.
And so, I mean, I think it's great that are people out there who prefer that, because we definitely need it. But I know that was a very hard schedule on your family.
It was.
Did you work in the ER for a while, or just always?
I spent a lot of time in nurse residency, which is kind of a thing that a lot of new nurses are being required to go through upon entering a hospital. It's kind of an extended training period. So yes, I have some experience of being in the emergency room from that, but I never worked there full time.
Okay. And then later, I guess you decided to transition a little bit.
I did. It had been a long time coming. I've had many individuals say, "Well, that's just not something that's not a change I think I could make," and that's just perfectly understandable. But it had been something that I really feel like had been building for a very, very, very long time. I think everybody in some way is on. Is coming to terms with life and death and mortality and things of that nature. Of course, we want to be spiritually ready, but we want everything else to be ready as well. And,
sure.
and we're not always ready to handle those things when they come.
Mm-hmm.
They don't wait for a good time to do it. And so I think where my journey really started towards this was when I was 12. I had my grandfather pass away, and that was the first brush I really had with what dying was.
Right.
Of course, I think that's a really awkward time to lose someone that's that close to you, because I think there was a lot I didn't understand. I understood enough,
mm-hmm.
but there was a lot that I didn't understand. And that had prompted me to want to go into the medical field and save lives and do everything, and to do everything anybody else would want to do to fight on the front lines, to save the lives, to bring folks back. And so I did. I worked very hard. I graduated high school. I got into nursing school, and it was my first ever clinical day. It was my first ever clinical day. Yes. No, I tell this to nursing students often, just so that way they always know that things can happen.
Right.
I was in the emergency room. We were doing a clinical rotation in the emergency room that day, and the call came over the radio that there was a cardiac arrest that was in progress on making its way to the hospital, and my clinical instructor kind of gathered us all together and said, "Okay, well, this will be a really interesting opportunity to really watch and see how something like this goes." But unfortunately, the minute that she went to go collect the rest of us, they came in with this cardiac arrest patient. They brought her to a room in the back and started doing all the resuscitation efforts. They did the CPR and all the resuscitation efforts. And the minute she had left, the ER staff poked her head out of the room and said, "Come on, we need y'all to come and compress. We need you to come in and perform CPR." Of course, all of us had our basic life support. We were able to do chest compressions just as well as anybody else could. Sure. And if you're in a situation like that, you had to go with it. Right. And so that's what we did. And unfortunately, the lady that I'm speaking about did pass away. But I think that for me, for a long time, that of course, my magical thinking was gone. I didn't really, in my head, I didn't believe this way. In my heart, I feel like I probably did, is that something like that wouldn't happen to me. I was going to be better than that. That I was going to save lives, that I was going to really make a difference.
Well,
but then
I don't think anyone would expect it to happen in your first 5 minutes. Sure. That's the, gosh.
And I think that moment kind of changed things. The rest of my nursing school career went by, and my career, and I had to change perspectives a little bit on death and dying in many cases as I continued to go through, because there continued to be instances of things like this happening, and it for every healthcare worker knows that these things do happen, and I had to come to terms with the fact that that we all have a time that we're going to live and that we're going to die. Our lives are as a vapor, as the Bible says, that we're going to be here for a while and then we're going to be somewhere else. And that the in many cases for many, quality of life matters. Sure. And sometimes trying to extend that in a way that's not natural is not what many people are looking for. And so hospice came to my mind. I was looking to make a change. I was looking to do something different. And hospice was a way that I could really, really, really take care of people.
That's what I said.
It is a ministry.
Right. When you first moved over there, I thought he's getting to do what he really wanted to do, which was care for people. And, I think that the worst thing that we could do, and of course, if we're all, if you're in the medical field or some variety, I've done it myself. I've said the same things. The worst thing I've done as a nurse is to start referring to people as patients. What do you mean?
That sometimes I feel that's diminutive in a way, because nurses can be, not always, they can be, doctors, nurses, any medical staff. Things can become us versus them in a world where we're all struggling to make ends meet. And we all have patients that we love. We all have patients we love taking care of. But, in hospice especially, I've been seeing a lot of these same folks for a very long time. Some of them don't stay with us for very long. Some we're able to take care of for a period of time. And I like to believe that they become friends. and I'm taking care of friends.
And that's the thing I've seen is that you not only are getting to minister to the patient, but to the entire family.
Absolutely.
And I think that's probably true in the hospital setting as well.
It is.
You're dealing with the whole family, and it's not always people at their best.
No.
You know, when you're, it's just unfortunately, and if you've ever been in the hospital, I've been in the hospital and it's not your finest hour. You're not feeling that well. And then it's not good for some families. It brings out the worst in some families, unfortunately. So
it's a slow environment. It's an environment where you want information and you want it quick. And sometimes things just don't.
Right.
I'm not sure. Could you have known that when you were going through nursing school, how much you would be dealing with?
Well, it's definitely something that I think I received as advice. It's like, okay, well, you're going to be taking care of the family. I think I had heard that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always come home to you until you are
taking care of the family.
People. Yeah.
And I think even maybe with hospice, it's even more true that you are ministering to the entire family. And do we need to define hospice really quickly for those who maybe have not had a family member?
I would love to.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think hospice, and to any of our audience who may feel this way, I hope that you come away with perhaps a more positive understanding of who we are. I know that there are some who have not had positive experiences with hospice.
Sure.
Hospice is end of life care.
Right.
Specifically, we have to have a diagnosis to start hospice that someone, I should say a prognosis, that someone's probably going to be with us 6 months or less. This person has prioritized comfort over length of life. They're not, if they have cancer, then they're probably not going to be going for curative chemotherapy and radiation treatments. They've decided to stop those things.
Right.
Of course, nobody's forced into hospice. And anybody can revoke from hospice at any time. So it's not that you're stuck in here. It's not that but we want to help people with what they want. And so, and I think that the other misconception is that when you're on hospice, we just expect you to pass away. It's like, okay, well, you're on hospice, therefore, we're just
waiting on you,
put you to sleep, and you're going to pass away. That is far from the truth. We try to do nothing that is going to lengthen nor shorten your lifespan naturally. We do want to keep people comfortable in how they want to be kept comfortable. There's really no right or wrong answer. It's up to the patient and the family to determine how much they want to do and how much they want to give.
And you're there to provide that care.
We're there to provide the care. We have and every hospice who is under Medicare does have a medical director. They act as primary care for that patient. So basically, we get our orders from our medical director, and we can give antibiotics. Most every medication is covered under Medicare for us to be able to provide. We kind of become a one-stop shop for our patients. We provide supplies, we provide medications, we provide hospital equipment or DME equipment.
What is DME?
That's medical equipment. So you're talking about hospital beds, you're talking about wheelchairs, walkers, whatever somebody needs.
We are back. I looked down here and we had lost all of our audio, so we had to take a short break and get everything reconnected. But we are back. Hopefully we'll be able to splice this together without too much interruption.
Yeah, so I had just asked John if hospice is always in the hospital or if it's sometimes at home, because I have heard that both ways.
Yes. And so we are, the agency I work for, we are primarily a home hospice agency. Our goal, our job is to equip families to help take care of their loved one, their relative. Understanding that this isn't always the case, but I think it's important to know that we don't expect anybody to know anything going in, that our job is to equip, is to educate, is to get you prepared to be able to take care of your loved one. We don't expect any miracles to happen overnight. And I believe that anybody can be a caregiver. And so we attempt to equip families to do that. However, that is not always the case. We can make visits out of a nursing home. We can make visits, and there are other types of hospice agencies. Just south of us in Tupelo, there is a hospice house, and so that is a residential hospice where you can, like a nursing home, you can move in and stay on hospice care. Now we don't do that. We're not able to do that where we're at. But that is an option for some families, and there are approved hospice reasons to go to the hospital. Now, most of our patients, we are able to take care of them from wherever they're at. We have our medical director. He is able to give us whatever order, any time of day or night. If we're out there, we can call him. We'll get an order. We'll call the pharmacy. We'll get that ready. We will drive to the pharmacy, pick it up, take it out. We can manage most everything.
Right. But
there are Medicare-approved hospice reasons to go to the hospital, one of which being what's called GIP, which is General Inpatient Hospice. And that's where someone would be eligible for up to a 5-day hospital stay, or at least our policy says 5-day hospital stay, to help control a certain symptom or something that we're unable to get controlled in the home. If someone's hurting so bad that we just are unable to get that controlled where we're at, someone's having such bad nausea or vomiting that we can't control it, that would be a hospice approved reason to go to the hospital. And then the other reason would be like a respite care. I believe most hospices do offer some sort of respite care because they are under Medicare. And so that would be an up to 5-day hospital stay for really any reason to give the caregivers a break. Just have their loved one in a facility to where they're taken care of. They don't have to worry about them. They can get some rest. Or if something has come up and they need to take care of that thing, they're able to do that.
Okay. So I imagine that's I don't know. I know some of the things that you did in the hospital and that you're now doing in hospice are the same. I know there's many tasks that probably carry right over.
That's right.
But it feels also very different. It's a very different type of nursing, I imagine.
It is. Yes. It's about preparing and looking at people in decline. We know that they're probably not going to recover, and so we're watching. We are intervening when we can help and make things easier and more comfortable. But yes, and I believe that we really see God's beautiful natural process. And the deal is that, and we often don't think about it, but we are all going to make that same journey one day. And it's something that, again, I think sometimes we try to avoid, but it is true. But I believe that there is something to the natural dying process that unfortunately may get cut short in an accident or something like that. But I think that there is something to the natural process. In fact, there's a real spiritual aspect to it as well. You may have heard from people who say that they have kind of come out of a cardiac arrest or something where their heart has stopped beating, that they say that they see things or have heard things, and of course those are in some way a little bit unverifiable, because we're not able to do that ourselves and verify that is what they've seen or do. But I, as part of the natural process, I think that there are many who claim to have seen, and this is before they passed away. There's an element of letting go of the physical and embracing the spiritual as you're getting close within probably a week or so of passing away. There are these signs that we can see.
Yeah,
as they
I've
go.
heard that a little bit.
Some people that I've talked to have claimed to see Jesus. There have been others who have said that they see relatives or family members. And I've thought quite a lot about this, and I would never tell any of you what to think about it, because again, these are unverifiable. I can't go in there and tell you what to feel about it. But the conclusion I have come to on some of those things is that whether or not that family member or Jesus or an angel is actually there, or whether or not the good Lord has put that in us to see in order to comfort us and to get us prepared for what comes next.
Something that is known.
Something that is known.
Right.
You know, whether that is something outside of the brain or inside the brain, if the good Lord has put it there in order to help in our time of need, in our time of transition, does it make much of a difference?
Because it seems to be a very common experience.
It is. Most all of our folks say something about it.
So is it a coping mechanism, or is it really happening? Like you said, we can't verify that at all. But yeah, I think that's a neat perspective, that it could be something that, you know, the Lord has done to bring comfort to someone in that time.
So I know you've taken a few notes and thought about a few things. So if I ask this question and lead too far off topic,
that's fine.
Let me know. But let me just ask you this and put you on the spot real quick. But what are some things that you think our audience would need to know about hospice care, or that might be beneficial for them to know?
Because people don't like to think about this stuff.
No.
Well, here's my advice, and take it for what it's worth. My advice is like everything else. We prepare wills for our wealth. We prepare, we prepare certain things. My advice is to anybody listening is, whenever it's convenient, and if it's necessary, do consider what's called an advance directive or a living will. That is that is a wonderful little legal document that discusses what you would like to take place if you were unable to make decisions for yourself. What that does is it relieves the burden of your family having to make the same decision if you were ever incapacitated and unable to make decisions for yourself. And unfortunately, sometimes we do see where folks don't have that, and sometimes, emotions run high, and families aren't certain which way to go. And if you can remove that burden from your family, do. Absolutely.
It keeps the decision making and the arguing at minimum. And you can have whatever you would like. You can say full resuscitation. You can say you can list the if, ands, or buts about it. Right. You have the full decision making capacity right here, right now, to just dictate anything that could happen to you if ever that time did come.
Right.
And I think that that's wonderful. And boy, howdy, I just love everybody who comes on our service and they have those things ready. Yeah. Meaning they've already thought about this. It makes our jobs and lives so much easier.
I bet so.
Number two, is if you want to learn some more information about hospice, I've got a couple links. I think they'll be provided in the show notes. There was a website called caringinfo.org. I just perused through the entire website, and that was a wonderful resource. It talks about advance directives. It talks about what hospice could do for you. Just provides some great information and counseling for those who are caregiving. And then what's called the NHPCO.org website, and that's National Hospice and Palliative Care Organization. They're kind of the national body of hospice care, and they have a lot of great information on their website as to what hospice care is and how they can help. Now, another thing that I suppose I wanted to mention as well is that, at least for us, but I believe this is national, because that under Medicare and Medicaid, specifically Medicare, our services are covered. No family with Medicare has ever received a bill from hospice for that reason. It's something that is covered, and so if it's a service that you can take advantage of, do so. If you have a need, absolutely. And there's no shame in having someone come out and talk to you about this, doing the consultation without any sort of pressure to make that decision. You know, you can have someone talk to you about it, but then you then don't feel pressure to have to do it.
Right. Any other things, Brennan or John, that you might want to bring up?
Yes. Well, I wanted to provide a little encouragement. You know, others have said that you know, that they don't know. I'm aware of the special nature of what the service I get to provide to people. I know that what I get to do is special and sacred, and that I get to help people in their time of need, and I'm grateful to be able to do that. But you know, the most of what I do every day is pretty menial. I'm picking up a medicine, I'm delivering it, I'm dropping it off, I'm doing a physical assessment, I'm doing this or that. And so what I wanted to say was that the special sauce to all of this is love. That's the special ingredient, and that's not optional. If as Christians,
right.
Love is not optional. Right. The chapter on love, 1 Corinthians 13 says, "Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity," which my King James translates charity, love, I am as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And if I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith that I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing. And if I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. And so love isn't optional, and love is something that we can provide in whatever work or wherever we're at. It doesn't require someone special to be able to show agape love in whatever they're doing. My favorite example and one of my favorite movies of all time is It's a Wonderful Life, and I always think about George Bailey. He runs a building and loan company.
We love that movie.
Which, you know, in and of itself is not a heroic sort of job, but he does it with love, and he makes a difference because he's doing what he's doing with love. So
and care.
Whatever you're doing, do it with love.
When you said I do a lot of menial tasks, I immediately thought of motherhood. I mean, I did. There's laundry and dishes and food and wiping up the floors. And it's not glamorous. So much of it is not, but you're exactly right. Whatever we do can be done with love. And that's a very powerful statement, because your job and motherhood, many jobs, can be done without love.
That's right.
You can run through those motions and you can do it. And it sure does display a difference to everyone around you when it's not done with love.
Right. Absolutely. Well, John, I do kind of shifting gears real quick here. And as we start to kind of close and think about a few other things, but you guys have started a new YouTube channel. I wanted you to be able to tell some folks about that. It's not related to hospice care, I don't think.
No, it is my other, I should say third great love, because Courtney ranks number one on that list. Okay. But I have a YouTube channel. It is Beloved Classics Library. I'm a big reader and I'm a big writer, and I wanted to share my enjoyment of literature and reading and writing with others, and so I have started a YouTube channel just dedicated to talking about books. It's not. It
if
doesn't
you
have
can't
a lot
find
of
anyone
frills.
to listen to you, you'll just throw it on YouTube, right?
That's it. I will talk about just about anything. I will talk about anything from a classic piece of literature to a comic book. It doesn't matter to me. I love reading, and so anything I'm reading, I want, and any thoughts I have, I share it with my internet audience.
You know what? That's maybe I should get a YouTube channel. I do like to talk.
No
just
comment.
Keep it to yourself.
Oh my goodness!
If I can't get you to listen, I'll foist it on the YouTubers.
No, but your channel's actually doing very well. I was looking. I've been watching the videos
getting
myself.
Started, but yes, I've enjoyed doing it. I actually started January 1st. So,
Yeah.
you know, but I've kept up being able to upload to it. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. And so I've enjoyed doing that. Yes, but yeah, I've also, as y'all know, I just finished, completed a hymn that I've written.
Yes.
I don't quite know where I'll put that up yet, but I know that I will. So it may, if you'll watch your Beloved Classics Library YouTube channel, I'll probably provide a little insight into what that was like writing it and being helped to compose it and put it into music with those folks there. So more information on that will probably be uploaded to that channel.
Very good.
Very good, yeah.
And we'll definitely have a link to your YouTube channel as well as those other resources that you mentioned in today's episode notes. Go ahead.
You know, we said we were getting off topic of unshakable love, but really, we talked about love today.
Yes, we did.
We talked about love. We did. It's a topic, like you said, that a lot of people don't want to think about.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, this is a very necessary and important thing that you do. And we are all going to deal with death at the end of the day. And so I just think that's important. And it's, like I said, it might be the unsavory side that people don't want to think about, but there is love there as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we certainly, although this has been a little bit of a different episode today, we hope that the things that we've shared and the things that John has talked about have been an encouragement to you. That's certainly our goal here, hopefully informative in some ways. I'd just like to say, if you have any questions, we can do our best to help you out. If you want to send those to us, just hit the Contact Us page. And if John is comfortable, we'll try to provide any answers that you may have as much as we can. But yeah, that's always an option as well. So we would invite you to do that. Any last words, guys?
That's all I have.
No, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate you listening and being part of our podcast community. And as always, may the Lord bless you as you continue to seek Him.